Hey everyone, Graham Stephan here. Today we're diving into a topic that's been popping up all over social media and crypto forums lately, PiNetwork. If you've ever wondered what all the buzz is about, or if you've seen friends talking about mining crypto on their phones, you're in the right place. We're going to break down what PiNetwork is, how it works, and why so many people are talking about it. So, what exactly is PiNetwork? At its core, it's a new kind of cryptocurrency project that claims you can mine coins right from your smartphone. No expensive hardware, no massive electricity bills, just a simple app. You might have heard whispers of this one. A coin you mine on your phone? Sounds too good to be true, right? That's what I thought at first, too. But let's dig a little deeper and see what's really going on here. PiNetwork launched back in 2019, created by a couple of Stanford grads who wanted to make cryptocurrency more accessible. Their backgrounds in computer science and social computing gave them a unique perspective on how to build a network that anyone could join, not just tech experts or people with deep pockets. Their big idea? Make crypto mining accessible to everyone, not just people with powerful computers. They wanted to level the playing field so that anyone with a smartphone could participate in the crypto revolution, regardless of where they live or how much money they have. See, most cryptos use a system called proof of work, which needs a ton of energy. That's why you see those huge mining farms filled with rows of computers, all burning through electricity just to keep the network running. It's expensive, it's not great for the environment, and it puts crypto out of reach for most people. Pi uses something different, the Stellar Consensus Protocol. This is a unique approach that doesn't require all that energy-hungry hardware. Instead, it relies on trust circles and social connections to validate transactions, making it much more efficient. Basically, it's designed to be way more energy efficient and runs right on your phone. You don't have to worry about your battery draining or your phone overheating. You just tap a button once a day, and you're mining Pi. Now, Pi isn't trying to be just another Bitcoin. It's not aiming to replace Bitcoin or Ethereum, but rather to create something new, a digital currency that's easy to use and accessible to everyone, everywhere. Their goal is to build a whole ecosystem. That means not just a coin, but a platform where people can build apps, make payments, and interact with each other using Pi as the currency. Think payments, apps, and even integrating with other blockchain projects. The vision is to create a digital economy where Pi is at the center, powering everything from online shopping to peer-to-peer transactions. It's ambitious, but that's the crypto world for you. Every big project starts with a bold idea, and PiNetwork is no different. The team is betting that by making crypto easy and social, they can attract millions of users and developers. The big question is, can they pull it off? Can Pi go from a phone app to a major player in the crypto space? There are a lot of challenges ahead, from building real-world utility to gaining trust in a crowded market. That's what we're going to explore in this video: how PiNetwork works, what makes it different, and whether it has a shot at changing the way we think about money in digital communities. So, stick around as we dig deeper into the world of PiNetwork. Okay, let's talk about how you actually mine Pi. If you've ever heard about cryptocurrency mining, you might picture rows of powerful computers, fans whirring, and electricity bills skyrocketing. But PiNetwork flips that idea on its head, promising a way for anyone with a smartphone to get involved. No technical expertise or expensive hardware required. First off, it's not mining in the traditional sense. You're not solving complex equations that heat up your phone and drain your battery. In fact, your phone stays cool and your battery life is barely affected because the app isn't actually using your device's processing power to secure the network. Instead, it's more about participation and trust. Instead, you just open the Pi app once a day and tap a button. That's it. This simple action is all it takes to start earning Pi. There's no need to leave the app running in the background, and you don't have to worry about your phone overheating or slowing down. It's designed to be as user-friendly as possible, so even if you're new to crypto, you can participate. This daily tap confirms you're a real person and not a bot trying to game the system. The app may occasionally ask you to verify your identity, either through facial recognition or by checking a simple box to make sure the network stays secure and trustworthy. This is a key part of Pi's approach: building a network of real verified users. The more people in your network, the more Pi you earn. PiNetwork encourages you to invite friends and family, forming a circle of trusted individuals. The idea is that by growing your network with people you know, you help strengthen the overall security and reliability of the system. It's a social approach to mining, where your connections matter as much as your participation. It's all about building a trusted community. PiNetwork's vision is to create a global network of everyday people, not just tech experts or crypto enthusiasts. By making mining accessible and social, they hope to build a currency that's truly for everyone, powered by the strength of its community. Now here's the catch. For the longest time you couldn't actually do anything with the Pi you mined. It was all happening on a testnet, which is basically a practice version of the real network. You could see your balance grow, but you couldn't spend, trade, or withdraw your Pi. For many early users, this was a test of patience and faith in the project's future. But in February 2025, PiNetwork finally launched its Mainnet. This was a huge milestone, signaling that Pi was ready to move from a closed experimental phase to a real, functioning blockchain. In theory, this means Pi can now be traded, transferred, and potentially used for purchases, opening the door to real-world value. However, there are still some hurdles. Pi isn't on all the major exchanges yet, so you can't just buy or sell it anywhere you like. Many users are still waiting for broader adoption and more trading options, which will be crucial for Pi's long-term success and value. And the process of transferring your Pi from the app to the mainnet has been, well, let's just say it's been a bit messy for some people. There have been technical hiccups, confusing instructions, and delays that have left some users frustrated. But as the network matures, these growing pains are expected to ease, paving the way for a smoother experience in the future. So, where's Pi sitting right now? As of today, April 23, 2025, Pi is trading at around 61 cents. It hit an all-time high of almost $3 back in February right after the Mainnet launch, but it's come down since then. Over 35 million people are using Pi, which is impressive. They've also added some security features like two-factor authentication, which is always good to see. But it hasn't been all sunshine and rainbows. Remember that messy migration I mentioned? Yeah, that's still causing headaches for some users. Plus, there's been a delay in getting Pi listed on some of the bigger exchanges like Binance. That's a big deal because it limits who can buy and sell Pi, and then there's the elephant in the room regulation. Governments around the world are still figuring out what to do with crypto. If they crack down, it could spell trouble for Pi, especially in places like China where they've been really strict. Alright, let's talk tokenomics. If you've ever wondered why some cryptocurrencies skyrocket while others seem to fizzle out, a lot of it comes down to how their supply is managed. Tokenomics is just a fancy word for the economics of tokens, how they're created, distributed, and controlled. Don't worry, I'll keep it simple. You don't need a PhD in economics to get the basics. We're just going to break down how Pi's supply works, and why it matters for anyone interested in the project. Basically, it's all about how many Pi coins are out there, and how they're released. The total supply, the way coins are unlocked, and who gets access to them, these are the key factors that shape the value of any cryptocurrency. This matters because it affects the price. If too many coins hit the market at once, prices can drop fast. But if supply is limited and demand is high, prices can surge. When Pi launched its Mainnet, they migrated about 6.8 billion coins. That's a huge number, but it doesn't mean all those coins are floating around ready to be traded. But here's the thing. Most of those coins are locked up. They're not just sitting in people's wallets waiting to be sold. Instead, they're held back, with strict rules about when and how they can be released. They're released slowly over time to prevent anyone from dumping a ton of Pi on the market and crashing the price. This gradual release is designed to keep things stable and avoid wild price swings that can scare off new users or investors. Think of it like this. Imagine you bake a giant pizza because pizza. You wouldn't want everyone to grab all the slices at once, right? It would be chaos and someone would probably end up with nothing. You can't eat the whole thing at once, right? Even if you tried, you'd probably regret it. It's better to pace yourself, enjoy a slice or two, and save the rest for later. So you cut it into slices and eat them over time. That way, everyone gets a fair share, and the pizza lasts longer. It's about balance and making sure the experience is enjoyable for everyone. That's kind of what Pi is doing with its coin supply. By controlling how much is available at any given time, they're trying to keep the ecosystem healthy and sustainable. Right now, only a small fraction of Pi is actually available to trade. Most coins are still locked, waiting for their turn to enter the market. This slow release helps prevent sudden shocks to the system. As more coins unlock, it could put downward pressure on the price, at least in the short term. If too many people try to sell at once, prices might dip before finding a new balance. Of course, if demand for Pi explodes, then the price could still go up. If more people want to buy than sell, even a growing supply won't stop the price from rising. It's all about supply and demand, just like any other asset. The way Pi manages its supply is crucial for its long-term success, and understanding this can help you make smarter decisions as the project evolves. Okay, now for the million-dollar question, or should I say the $314 question, what will Pi be worth in 2030? The truth is, nobody knows. But that doesn't stop people from making predictions. Some experts are cautiously optimistic. They see Pi reaching maybe $20 to $30 by 2030 if everything goes well. Others are even more bullish, throwing out numbers like $7 or even $264. And then there's that $314 figure floating around. Look, I get it, Pi 3.14, it's a nice idea. But right now there's no real analysis to back it up, it's pure speculation. Remember, predicting the price of any crypto is like trying to predict the weather 7 years from now. You can look at the trends, but there's always a chance a hurricane could come out of nowhere. So, what are some of those hurricanes that could rock Pi's boat? Let's start with the positives. Wider adoption is key. If Pi can get listed on major exchanges like Binance and Coinbase, that would be huge. It would make it much easier for people to buy and sell Pi, which could drive up demand. Another good sign would be more developers building on the Pi network. Remember, Pi wants to be more than just a currency. They want to create a whole ecosystem of apps and services. If that takes off, it could make Pi incredibly valuable. But there are also some big risks. Regulation is a major one. If governments decide to crack down on crypto, it could hurt Pi's growth. There's also the issue of competition. There are tons of other cryptos out there, many with more funding and development. Pi needs to prove it can stand out from the crowd. One thing Pi has going for it is its community. They call themselves pioneers, and they are passionate about Pi. They're constantly promoting it online, inviting new users, and dreaming of a future where Pi is a global currency. This enthusiasm is great, but it also creates hype. And hype can be dangerous, especially in the crypto world. It can lead to people investing more than they can afford to lose, hoping to get rich quick. It's important to remember that Pi is still a very young project. There's a lot that could still go wrong. It's great to be hopeful, but it's also important to be realistic and do your research. Alright, here's the part where I put on my serious hat. Everything we've talked about today is for informational purposes only. This is not financial advice. I'm not telling you to buy Pi, sell Pi, or do anything with your money. Investing in cryptocurrency is inherently risky. The market is volatile, and you could lose everything you invest. Never invest more than you can afford to lose, and always do your own research before making any decisions. So, should you jump on the Pi bandwagon? The answer, like with most things in life, is, it depends. On the one hand, mining Pi is incredibly easy. It takes literally seconds a day. And hey, if it does take off, you could potentially make some money. On the other hand, there are still a lot of unknowns. The price is volatile, the future is uncertain, and there are plenty of risks involved. My advice? If you're curious about Pi, do your research. Read everything you can find about it. Understand the risks, the potential rewards, and the technology behind it. And then, and only then, decide if it's right for you. Remember, there's no such thing as a free lunch, even in the crypto world. Be careful, be smart, and never stop learning. Until next time, I'm Graham Stephan. Peace out.